Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Habs Tonight pregame show, playoff edition, folks. Game 5, Sabres Canadiens. Montreal heads back to the state of New York, Western New York, that is, as the Canadiens and Sabres are now tied 2 apiece, ladies and gentlemen. It's a brand new series. It's a best of 3, and we have a heck of a show for you, as always, tonight. Pierre Maguire joining us, Annik Lemire rejoining us, and another Sabres fella, another NHL awesome sports commentator, a personal friend of mine, Mahood, will be joining us at about 6:30 of the Niagara Sports Report. He has been in broadcasting for over 30 years. He is going to be giving you some great insight on the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens as well. So we'll see you guys in a few short minutes. Talk soon.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Playing on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K, 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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
You're watching Habs Tonight, powered by Sick Media. The sickest Montreal Canadiens pregame show. It's gonna be sick.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Habs Tonight pregame show, playoff pregame show. That is Annik Lemire. Good to see you tonight, my friend.
How are you?
I am all right. We color coordinated tonight. One of us wore the red. One of us wore the white. Totally planned, right?
100%.
No, it wasn't.
100%. No, good evening to everybody except the Bell Center boards. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. That's a tough one.
Holy crap.
Folks, but we digress. You know, it's it was a tough bounce for sure, but again, it wasn't the deciding goal, but it certainly didn't help our cause. But let's just hope that somebody said a prayer or something over Jakub Dobeš before he went to sleep that night, because he needed to get some sleep, eh? Oh, yeah. Man.
No,
all right.
It's gonna be a good one tonight.
It is. It's going to be good. And we're not going to waste that much time getting Pierre Maguire into the mix here. Let's actually waste no time. And before we do that, we're going to talk to you about one of our sponsors for the show, Winnies. So actually, as we speak, Winnies is hosting a live show with Tony Marinaro and Shane Gaumont of the Sick Podcast, a live watch party, actually, as a matter of fact. Winnies on Crescent, serving all your favorites and more since 1969. Enjoy Chef Jack's inspired and timeless gastropub fare. Winnies Pub, open late. The best 5 out of 7 in Montreal. The place to cheer on the Habs and make memories. Downtown Montreal sports headquarters for everything from F1 to Les Glorieux, always. And with that, we bring in Pierre Maguire.
Pierre Maguire, presented by Sir Winston Churchill Pub.
Mr. Maguire, good to see you,
Annik,
sir.
Annik, good to see you. Drew, great to see you. So happy to be back with you guys.
Yeah. How's Sweden treating you?
Sweden's good. Lots of work. Keeping busy every day. Long days. I'll be done at 5 a.m. this morning our time, and I'll be in the office by around 9:30.
Jeez. Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Always for you guys. Plus, it's a passion, so it's all good.
This man shares the passion, folks. I don't know if you know that already, but you do now. So, Pierre, this was a heck of a turn in the series for the Buffalo Sabres, and some lineup changes seem to have done them some real good, Pierre, because Constant Helenius, despite maybe not getting on the score sheet, was a factor and very noticeable the other night. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen comes in, and not that it was an otherworldly performance, but I do think he steadied the back end for the Buffalo Sabres, and I got to say, what they did, it worked.
Yeah, and Luke Shen went in as well, and I thought he was, he didn't play a lot, but when he was in there, he's a difference maker physically and shot blocking wise. So there was a lot of good stuff. I thought, and I think you guys probably agree, and if you don't agree, tell me. I thought the game swung on the Tage Thompson shoot-in. I mean, you can't make anything about it. Montreal's in pretty good shape there. Puck finds its way to the back of the net off the right pad or leg of Jakob Dobish, and then the Canadiens don't capitalize in the Bowen Byron double minor, and especially to start the third period. And I thought you put it all together, the Thompson situation, not capitalizing, and all of a sudden they're in full scramble mode, and they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't like the start to our game. I thought it was a bit sloppy, but then as soon as that 12-minute review happened, that was definitely the game changer on our end. And I thought we were totally dominating until that Thompson goal, like you just said.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's a great point, too. It's very fair. The start, I was really shocked because I thought they were going to come out. And, Nick, you weren't with us the other night, but I thought, man, oh, man, they're going to come out tonight. They're not going to make the same mistake as they made against Tampa in Game 6. And for whatever reason, they made the same mistake. They just didn't start on time.
Yeah. And then special teams was definitely an issue. Like, you can't go 1-7 and expect to win a game here. So, yeah, that really killed the momentum. I think we missed a lot of chances, but
I agree.
we know Dobie's stats after losing a game, so I'm pretty confident for tonight.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, Jakob Dobish, man. I mean, this guy has made himself well known in these parts, if you will, around Montreal, even in Buffalo too. And I think that the Sabres are going with a tandem kind of by force, maybe in a sense. I mean, 11-3, they were outscored in Game 2 and 3, Pierre. But it looks and seems to me like things are going to get a little tighter here, and it looks like they already have. And you mentioned, I mean, that goal deflated the Canadiens a little bit for sure. The momentum swings have been noticeable in this series because you saw it, Pierre. Speaking of momentum swings, Marty St. Louis challenging the goal that was disallowed ended up basically turning into 2 Montreal goals. If you look at it in terms of momentum, they gained that momentum there, but it's pretty noticeable here. And I'm curious what the difference is going to be in this series, Pierre, because I just have no clue.
It's pretty cool what you just said, though, Drew. I got to tell you, like, it wasn't just the players that were flat. After that, the crowd was dead.
Yes.
The crowd was almost in shock in Montreal. And, I'm sitting here 3,500 miles away, and I could sense it, watching it. So it's kind of a tough deal. I think the Canadiens will respond. I think back to the Tampa series. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I thought that in Tampa they could have won 4 games. They won 3, but I thought they could have won 4. Think about Lane Hudson off the post in the power play late in the third period. That goes in, it's over. So I like the way they've played on the road. I think they're probably better on the road than they are at home right now.
That's the thing. Yeah. Go ahead, Annik.
I was just going to say there's less pressure on the road too. You've got a hell of a crowd at home. So definitely a difference maker, and it fuels them when they need to. But yeah, if that crowd goes quiet, no bueno.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true though. I mean, you feel it, right? You feel it in the crowd, and you felt it in the crowd when Marty won that challenge. You just got this rush of energy in the building, and it worked to Montreal's favor. So the reverse is true too, Pierre, unfortunately.
Yeah. My thing is, you guys probably feel the same way on this. I hope you do. At some point, Caulfield, Slafkovsky, and Suzuki are going to score 5-on-5. Like, at some point, they're going to.
They have to.
I mean, like, I don't get it. And I know everybody pays special attention to him. I've created those game plans, too, to shut down lines and playoff series. I understand the special attention, but at some point, they're going to score.
Yeah. Testament to the Sabres, too, on how good of a job they're doing shutting them down. So, yeah. Yep. Don't mind admitting that for sure. But yeah, I would hope that at 5-on-5 at some point it just unlocks, because you need those 2 players to step in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see Slav carrying the puck still, confidently as ever, still using his size, becoming that power forward this year that we saw up here. But it does seem as if, though, time and space, of course, is limited more and more as the series goes on. Is that not correct?
That is very correct, because you get comfortable, you get in rhythm playing against certain guys in a matchup. And that's when it becomes harder for the star players. I wonder how fatigued Suzuki is. That last series, I don't know how much people talked about it in Montreal or around the team, but, Cirelli did a heck of a job on him. And that's ground and pound hockey, because you got McDonough and Chernak too. And as much as they respect Slav and as much as they respect Caulfield, they know the guy that drives the line is a centerman. And they made him pay a big toll. I just don't know how much he's got left in the tank. I really don't.
Yeah, they emptied a lot of gas in that series, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a fair point, because I think a lot of people, like, it seems like Suzuki, just being the quiet leader that he is, he just goes a little undetected and under the radar and underappreciated. So I think you're right. If you key in on Nick Suzuki, a guy who drives the line, you're going to have success.
Yeah, and it's worked out. I mean, look at Buffalo's top line hasn't exactly distinguished themselves either. I know Thompson got the goal the other night, but I mean, where's Alex Tuck in this whole thing? Where's Peyton Krebs in this whole thing? They hadn't exactly ripped it apart. And I think the biggest thing for Montreal, if they could ever get Demidov some better looks, especially on the power play, I don't think they're going 1 for 7.
Yeah, Demidov is definitely needed. But I liked his look last game. I think it's just a matter of time before he unlocks, and I'm predicting tonight.
Nice.
Why not?
Good.
But I lost my train of thoughts. Go ahead, Beast.
That's okay. We still love you. It's all good. No, you know what, though? That's why I'm wearing Ivan's shirt. I mean, Brando tried to get the Demidov energy rocking the other day with his shirt on here. But you know what? At the end of the day, like, this guy still has a lot of room to physically mature. And I think that that's really a factor. I do see it, Pierre. He does look a little bit small, I think, in these playoffs. And I'm wondering how much of a factor that is. And it does seem like expectations were probably reasonably high coming out of the regular season that he had, 60+ point first season. But it does seem like it's time that hopefully he can chip in some way that, whether it's on the assist board or on the goal board or do something positive.
Yeah, no, they need him. There's no question. I like the rest of the lineup. I don't think any of the other guys have played poorly. I really don't. And I think they've done some really good things in the back end. I think Arbor's got to play more. Like, less than 4 minutes in the game is not going to cut it. He needs to play more. And the biggest thing, if he does play more, he can't get himself into trouble with the officials. It's really important tonight. Like, if I were coaching, that's the one thing before every shift, I'd just tell him, just whistle the whistle, big man. Whistle the whistle. That's all you got to do. Don't do anything else. Just whistle the whistle. Because, they see when he's out there, and they know when he's out there, and they know if they want to give him a penalty, they can give him one.
I think one guy we need to talk about, too, is Alex Newhook. Let's talk
sure.
about a guy who's stepping up right now and who is showing his experience. It's got to be him.
Oh, phenomenal. Like, somebody asked me the other day, I forget if I was in our office here in Stockholm or if I was on the road somewhere, but What about Nook? They say to me, I said, you ever watch John Druce play in the 1990s? That was Johnny Druce down in Washington. I think he had 16 or 17 goals one playoff season, some crazy number. And, he was never the same again. But with Newhook, I don't really count on him being a scorer, so everything he does is a bonus. And so far, he's been an electrifying bonus for the Montreal Canadiens, to my next point. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, a guy who came in again and hadn't really found his footing and was starting to this season and then gets injured. The ankle fracture, comes back a little sooner than expected. And frankly, a guy who has a Stanley Cup ring, as we know, super young and has so much more to give, the energy, the speed, the pace. I'm wondering, like, with guys like Kirby Dach who have had success with Bolduc, Veleno's factored in this series. There's players again in the bottom six, Josh Anderson, Phil Deneau. I mean, these guys are the ones that have showed up the most, I think, Pierre. I think the pressure is starting to mount on the top six for the Canadiens, as we've already alluded to a little bit.
No, it is. But you talked about those guys. They've played their role to the T.
Yes.
Josh Anderson, the first round, was phenomenal against Kucherov. Deneau's been amazing in faceoff situations, and he's done fantastic job on penalty kill and on the forecheck in particular. Jake's been really good. This is the best I've seen Zachary Bolduc play ever as a Montreal Canadian. I don't worry about his goal scoring. I know he can shoot the puck and get points. It's just he's playing a lot better. So there's a lot to like. You know what? Whether they win or lose this series, and I still think they're winning this series, but whether they win or lose, the future of this organization is unbelievable. It's scary how good it's going to be.
Yeah, I said that actually the other day in a video on my own YouTube channel. I just said how, you know what, like, this is a weird take maybe, but the Montreal Canadiens are going to be fine. We've watched this build from the very beginning, and I mean ground one. Like, this channel was still, up and kicking and humming when that all began. And Pierre, for me, the Montreal Canadiens are going to be fine. There's still prospects that we are very excited about that are still not here yet. Consta Helenius coming into Buffalo, that was a big, thing Sabres fans were looking forward to. But is there more of a desperation, urgency for the Sabres and their fans for the sake of their status in their, I don't know what build they're in, but I would say that I think Sabres fans really need this series. I think the Sabres really need this series. The Canadiens are going to be fine. I want them to win it. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like maybe for the sake of the Buffalo fan base, they need this.
Well, they needed to make the playoffs first and foremost, and they did that. And then the fact they beat one of their biggest rivals, Boston, was huge for them. And so now they're kind of playing with house money. The fact that they're playing against Montreal and they're tied 2-2 going into Game 5 tonight is massive. I can't even imagine what it's like on Chippewa Street in downtown Buffalo, what it's like outside the building there in Buffalo. But, I think I've told you guys this back in the day in the old odd, everybody that played there on a Friday night, it was an 8 o'clock start, and it was wild. Like, it was crazy. If you looked at the schedule in the summer and say, I got 3 appearances on Friday night in Buffalo, you knew you were in for one. Like, you had a buck up. And they haven't lost that. I mean, they were underachieving. There's no question as an organization for a long time, but they got it back. And now it's exciting to go into Buffalo if you're a fan because people are all amped up. And I think that's great. It's great for the league. Their TV numbers are always massive, always. And that's great for the league. It really is.
Yeah, they've got a hell of a fan base. I'm not going to take that away from them. They're passionate, and hell, it's been 16 years. Like, they deserve where they're at right now. And I think it's the same thing for us too, where my expectations were to just make it past the first round. If we made it past the first round, it's gravy from here. So obviously would love to make it to the next one, but I'm just happy with what I'm seeing. And like Drew said, it's been amazing to watch, and we've got a seriously bright future ahead. I'm tired of saying that because I feel like I've been saying it for 10 years, but either way, it's exciting to watch.
Yeah. They're both at very similar points, I feel like, because they're, like I said this before the series started, like they both, in a way, they're both playing with house money, right? Like, I think more so Montreal. Like, I mean, the Sabres were, in a way, to me, were supposed to win, and that's the Atlantic Division champions, if you will, if you want to even crown that. But I would say that expectations for the Sabres were lifted by winning the Atlantic Division, of course, and then beating Boston. And then Montreal humbled them for a couple of games after game 1. So I feel like everything's back to square one again, Pierre. It just feels like this is a fresh start to the series right here tonight in Buffalo. It just feels like a fresh start.
It is. That's why I brought up the Tampa series, because I felt Montreal was so comfortable playing in Tampa. And I think they'll be comfortable based on what we saw in game 2 in particular. I throw game 1 away. I said it before the game. I didn't think they'd win game 1. I really didn't. It's too quick a turnaround. And it's just emotionally too hard. I've been through it a bunch of times. It's not that easy. So they've responded appropriately in game 2, and that's why I see them going in tonight feeling pretty good about where they stand right now.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, hi, Chandler. Annik's dog is in the background. Just got to give the puppy some love for sure. But yeah, I just want to say too, with when it came to all the shenanigans we saw in game 3, which we all talked about multiple times on the pregame show, but we saw Zach Benson on his 21st birthday turn back into the player that the Sabres have needed him to be, and scoring a massive goal on maybe a Jake Evans, it was a Jake Evans mistake on the hold there. Not a great call to take. And Zach Benson, Shane Doan, I mean, those guys came up with a big one on the power play, but I got to say that for a 21-year-old, Constant Helenius came in and just seemed to be playing free. But players like Zach Benson, these guys help drive this team.
Yeah, don't forget they don't have Noah Östlund right now playing either. And I'll tell you what, he's a really good player. I saw him his draft year in Djurgården. He played with Liam Ogren and Lekkerimaki. So Ogren's in Vancouver now, Lekkerimaki's in Vancouver, and this kid's in Buffalo. And I'll tell you what, they were dynamic as all get out their draft year. And then, and then Östlund gets hurt, and they bring Helenius in, and he just takes off from there. And don't forget they have Yuri Kulik too. So they got a whack of guys. Buffalo's a lot like Montreal when it comes to having depth in the organization. They are. They really are.
It just seems like they're like, I think it's George Stroumboulopoulos said this to Tony recently, that these two are going to have a rivalry for years to come. And I think this is the beginning of it, Pierre. It really seems like it to me.
It's fair to say that. It's be interesting to see what they do with Alex Tuck this summer, just because he's a UFA or potential UFA. And if he's trying to break the bank, I'm not sure they're going to do that with him there because of his age. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. But they still have a lot of guys that are going to be able to play. I don't think Montreal is going to lose any players unless they decide to lose players. That's the difference.
They have control with RFA status. I mean, with Kirby Doc, Arbor Jacki, just to name a couple. But they have options. And I think they're going to be looking for upgrades, Pierre, especially if they don't win this series. If Buffalo is able to pull it off here, which I give them as much of a chance as Montreal easily. I just think that these two teams were figuring each other out, and now things have evened out a bit, and there's no reason to believe that it couldn't go either way. But I think my expectations are for Buffalo. I just expect them to do better. Montreal, again, house money, young team, one of the youngest in the NHL. And I got the jersey on. You guys see the background. My desire is for this team to win. I just expect Buffalo to, in some sense. Maybe my scouting isn't exactly as good as yours up here. I don't know.
No. I mean, that's fair. They got a good team. They won as you guys said, both of you said, they won the Atlantic Division. You know, they beat Tampa. Tampa's a really good team. Florida didn't even make the playoffs. 5 teams from the Atlantic Division made the playoffs back-to-back years. Think about that for one second. 5 teams from one division in back-to-back years made the playoffs in the East. So the Atlantic stacked, the Metro's not. You know, everybody's marveling at Carolina. I'm not taking anything away from Carolina, but their path hasn't been nearly as difficult as what these teams in the Atlantic are going through, or the teams out in the Central Division. You know, like I know people are looking at Colorado stacked. Minnesota had nothing left after their series with Dallas. 0 left in the tank. Nothing. They gave up 9 goals in their first game after their series with Dallas. That just says it all right there. They had nothing left in the tank.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder, and this is where like the scales tip for me in terms of how much this can be a factor, but we've seen the evolution of Marty St. Louis in these playoffs, and the guy is happy win or lose in his pressers. Like I love his spirit. I really love the guy's spirit. And I just am curious if how much of a factor with Lindy Ruff versus, Marty St. Louis, if you will, is going to be a storyline depending on which way the series goes, Pierre, because it's still fun to watch those two go at it.
It's a really good question. It's a good point too. I think, Drew, the biggest thing, they do it differently. You know, Lindy's been around a long time. He's basically started when I started coaching. That's a long time ago. And so we did things a little different back then, and he's kind of still doing it the same way. Marty's kind of different. You know, he's got young kids playing, so he kind of knows what the young kids are thinking, and you can see he relates really well with his young players. So he presents a different kind of message. So I think you're right about that, but I think it's just two different ways. So I don't know which way is right and which way is wrong, but I do think they both do it differently.
In terms of what to expect for the Canadiens in this next game here, I mean, we talk about Lane Hudson quite a bit. I mean, this guy is a game breaker. It's pretty clear. But it does seem, I mean, we saw Mike Matheson go bar down. We saw Alex Carrier go bar down in game 2. When the defense factors in, I'm wondering, you know, I guess I'm just curious. Every game is so different in the series period. I have no idea what to expect from this game 5. I just have to say, like, the Buffalo Sabres have had great starts the last 2 games, or at least better starts. And it just seems like the road team is able to play a bit more free. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think they do, actually. But back in the day, again, I'll tell you, the odd was different than the form, and the Garden in Boston was different than the stadium in Chicago. And all these Joe Louis had the fast boards, like rubber bands. When the puck hit the board, it was totally different than most buildings in the league. Right now, every building's about the same. And that's one of the things. I think the road team's just going there like, this is just another game for us. We're not that intimidated. And we don't have to put on a show. We just got to win. And it makes a difference, because back in the day, like, you take that, this is just, the building doesn't exist anymore. You go down the tunnel into the old Spectrum, and your guys knew, like, there was a battle coming, and it was way different. They don't have anything like that anymore. It was like Gladiatorville. It really was. It was crazy. The first time I did it, I can tell you, like, I was looking around behind me, sitting in the front of the bus, and guys really weren't that comfortable. And we had a good team too. It's kind of weird.
Every game's a game 7 right now.
Yeah, that's fair. They are. Every game is a game 7. I totally agree with that. The only good news about tonight is, even though it's not a game 7, you present it as a game 7, you still have the insurance of having a home game if you're Montreal. And if you ever win tonight, you put yourself in a real good spot. Good spot.
You're going game 6, 1 game advantage on a Saturday in Montreal.
Yeah. Cole Caulfield, Mr. Saturday Night.
They might find contracts, so you never know.
One way or the other, they're going to play Saturday in Montreal. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
But what's interesting is, again, like, say the Canadiens pull it off tonight, I think there's more pressure on the Canadiens for a win on Saturday. We saw it in game 6 versus Tampa here.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think they learned lessons from that game, though. I think they learned a lot. You know, we'll see if it plays out the way I hope it will, but I think they learned a lot from that game.
You mentioned Arbor Jacki earlier. You mentioned the very minimal amount of minutes. We saw Arbor taken out of game 7. Noah Dobson came back in. We haven't even talked about Noah Dobson, my gosh. But would you make any changes for the sake of the Canadiens tonight? It was a power play goal ultimately that finished the game the other night. But do you have anything in mind about changes they might want to make or not?
I'd wonder about playing Kapanen tonight.
Interesting.
I would wonder about playing Kapanen tonight. He's had a bunch of rest now. He should have live legs when a lot of guys maybe are a little slower. He should maybe be, because his quickness is pretty good. He could have live legs. He'll want to prove some people wrong, which I always like that about players. I like players that want to prove people wrong. And it might be a better fit on the second line than Jake Evans. And then Jake could play more of a shutdown role, and you're kind of covered off matchup-wise on the road. So I would love to, I think about that. I'm not sure if they're going to do that or not, but it's something I would definitely think about.
Who would you take out, though? Like, yeah, okay, Jake Evans on the second line.
Probably Joe Veleno.
Yeah.
Probably Joe.
That's a really interesting idea, because here's a question for you as a former coach. So after every playoff game, and say you are thinking about tinkering with the lines, like how often, and like, is there like a percentage meter on each of the guys' health somewhere with today's day and age and today's technology, like what percentage they're at in terms, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's a futuristic idea here, but I just wonder, they have to consider these players' health if they're going to make a lineup change.
I don't know if you had a chance to look at the injury report that came out of Philadelphia either late last night or early morning this morning.
No,
Insane.
Right? And those guys were all playing. You know, you had one guy with like massive blood issues, internal blood issues. You had another guy with a broken rib. You had other guys with broken arms. Like one guy was playing with a broken fibula. You know, I mean, you look at it, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I think to your question, in the playoffs, guys do whatever it takes. They don't care. They want to stay in the lineup.
I'm just curious, how that factors into a decision to actually make a change.
Well, it does. No, it does though. So I'll tell you, we went through this a lot in the 2 years I was fortunate enough to be part of a cup-winning team, and it measures into your decision making. There's no question. There's some guys that can play through it. There are other guys, and the trainer tells you and you got to trust your trainer. The trainer says, you know what, you can go with this guy tonight, but this guy might only be able to give you 60, 65%. You may want to sit him out for a night. So that, sometimes you got to save the player from himself too, because they all want to play, and sometimes they can't. So you got to save him from himself.
Right.
And physically take them out yourself because they'll never do it.
Right.
Now, I have another guest joining us, actually, and if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to bring him in a bit early to join this conversation. I think it will go very well. Someone that I really admire and respect. His name is Rod Mahood. So if we could, Jimmy, can we bring Rod into the show? Rod, you got a microphone rocking in the car. Look at this guy.
I'm bringing it. I want to make sure I sounded good for you guys. Great to be here. Pierre, it's been a few years, my friend, but good to see you as well.
Hey, Rod, nice to talk to you. That's great. That's awesome. What a good look.
Why did I have a feeling you guys knew each other? I just had a feeling, guys.
Many times. It's funny, and I remember, I think, Pierre, Buffalo's last playoff run, you were between the benches.
It was against Philadelphia.
With the media room and pregame and postgame and the morning skates. Yeah, we'd run into each other a lot.
Yeah. That was the one time the ownership change had just happened, and Mr. Pegula down in Philadelphia. I've never seen this before. I'm getting ready for game one, and he's down on the bench, and he's making line combination on the bench.
Come on! Oh wow!
And I'd never seen that before. And I called our truck. I said, "You got to get a camera on this. I've never seen this before in my life."
Interesting awesome. From the last playoff run, and the Habs fans with us tonight will also appreciate this. Jason Pominville is in the house tonight to pump up the crowd. So you can remember welcome to Pominville and everything else that happened in Buffalo. So Pominville. So the French media in Buffalo are appreciating that Jason Pominville is in the Queen City tonight.
It's pretty neat. They've had such a history of French Canadian or Francophone players playing in Buffalo, starting with the French Connection line. I mean, Gilbert Perreault, when I was a little boy, I used to go to the Montreal Forum on Sunday afternoons to watch the Montreal Junior Canadiens. And I'll tell you right now, he was as good as any player you ever saw back then when he was playing for the Montreal Junior Canadiens. I mean, he was phenomenal player. The late Richard Martin was a tremendous goal scorer. Rene Robert, just unbelievable. Just
French Connection.
They had a lot of French. Jocelyn Gavermont, they had a lot of Francophone players that went into Buffalo over the years.
So, Rod, what is your
Buffalo had a really good scout in Quebec, by the way. His name was Richie Bell. I don't think Mr. Bell's still alive, but he did a lot of work for the Sabres over time.
Okay.
Rod, what is your initial impression of this series so far? Like, what kind of thoughts are running through your mind about how things have gone so far?
Well, I mean, I think you guys have all discussed them. Obviously, the Buffalo power play is, even with some lucky goals, is clicking a little bit better. I'm going to be honest, as a former goaltender, I did not like the UPL move in Game 4, but it paid off. Obviously, he's back between the pipes tonight. Alex Line was strong, and I still say this as technique-wise, fundamental-wise, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is a great goalie. It's between the pipes, and we can say that about a lot of goaltenders and a lot of young goaltenders, because you can still say UPL is young. I didn't like the move, and still the talk of the top line in Buffalo. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Tuck and where he is. You can say he's a local player, but he's got to produce more. I still think if Buffalo is going to win this series, their top line has to produce a little bit more.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And Pierre, we got you for another 6:35, so I think we're gonna have to let you go. But I'm so
Rod,
glad.
Take care. You and Annik and Rod can bring it home.
We will do that. But I just wanted to say I had an inkling that you and Rod knew each other, so I was right.
Yeah, it's all
And I'm
good.
glad.
It's great to see him. All right, enjoy the game, everybody. We'll talk to you guys on Saturday.
Yes,
Take
we
care,
will.
Pierre.
Rod, good seeing you. Take care.
Good seeing you, Pierre. Take care.
So funny, Rod. I had a feeling, I had an inkling. Like I just knew it. That's so funny. 30 plus years in the business for both you guys. So there it is.
Absolutely. No, it's great to see him. And I know when you reached out to me, you said, yeah, Pierre's going to be on before you. So it's nice that we had a little crossover there.
I wanted to. I trusted my gut on that one. So, gotta listen to your gut sometimes. And so in terms of, so you didn't like the goaltending change. That is an interesting insight.
No, I did not. I did not like it at all. I was a little worried. And I still, let's not forget the last time UPL played in Buffalo was the goal from center ice. Now we know the board ricocheted the other night past Dobich. So it'll be interesting to see if UPL can get the job done again. I would not be surprised that at some point, I know it's now best of 3, but 3 games, as we know what we've seen in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, could be, an extra 6 periods. Maybe we're going to see Alex Lyon again. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. Whereas in Montreal, you guys can both agree that there's not going to be a goaltending change no matter what, I don't think.
No, Dobie's the guy.
Yes.
Yeah, barring some sort of disaster, I think he's going to be the guy for sure.
Yes, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you make of where these two teams are at maturity and experience wise, Rod? We've talked about how these two teams are very similar points in their builds here.
It's funny. I was speaking or texting with a former reporter that I used to work with in Buffalo, and I told him before the series I wanted the Sabres to play Tampa Bay. I thought Montreal, younger, faster team. I think I said the same thing to you, Andrew. I said the same thing to you. I said Montreal worries me more. I still think, despite Buffalo having the home ice with 2 of these last 3 games potentially, Montreal has nothing to lose, and they're the youngest team. You guys, you both know this, youngest team in the NHL. I personally think right now at present time, they have the better goaltending, right? And we can go into the Alex Newhooks and Zach Bensons of the world and see what they're doing and what they're producing. Like Newhook's unbelievable now. What's his stats now? It's compared to what he had in his past playoff performances. Yeah, so I think Montreal has a lot of things going. They outshot the Sabres in Game 4. And obviously the Sabres got some lucky bounces. So this series is far from over. And I'm going to say this. I think Montreal has got a little bit of an advantage still.
Is it the mental advantage, or do you think is that what it is, Rod, or do you think it's something else?
No, I guess you could say mentally. Even though Montreal is that youthful team, it's been 15 years since the Buffalo Sabres in the playoffs, and there's a lot more pressure, I think, on Buffalo because of that, and just not having it. And there's been a lot of stuff, obviously, a crazy story, very sad story, and it's worked out well. The Rasmus Dahlin with his fiance, horrendous story, and it's all worked out. I just think there's little sidebar stories that have affected Buffalo mentally and physically more than the Habs throughout the season.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
Yeah, and if you see Buffalo overcome in this situation, certainly that would be a big lift to the city. Naturally, it can't just be all about the Bills, right? We got to give the Sabres a chance here. As much as I'm saying that as a Montreal fan.
You know what I didn't realize, and today is kind of special, and you guys will remember this, and I couldn't believe it was 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago today, downtown Buffalo, the top shooting, where 10 people were gunned down, racially motivated. So there's another example that I didn't know is a sidebar story, and I don't know if it will be brought up with the players afterwards, but to bring the city together on a day like this that's happened in the past would be big for Buffalo tonight. But we know we're going back to Montreal, right? And I still think, it would not surprise me. This goes to 7 games and goes to overtime.
This is the series that could do it. Annik sounds like she's thrilled, by the way, about that idea.
Yeah, my heart's already palpitating at that one, so no worries. We're all good.
Yes.
All good. But no, you're right. It's it feels like the series that could do it, and wouldn't be surprised either. I just hope, for my own sake, and apologies as a Habs fan, but that we get it done on Saturday.
Now, the other side, very, very, as a Habs fan, you definitely can say that. The other sidebar is Carolina sitting around. Like,
Yeah.
you have that argument. Have they been sitting around for too long now? Because this could be a full week and a half off, depending on what happens. So there's such a thing as the momentum, but there's also too long of a layoff. So it'll be interesting. Whatever team wins this series, it'll be interesting, at least for game one of that Eastern Conference final, the result.
Yeah,
because Carolina hasn't been able to get over the hump in the conference final, so it's something that could be challenging them once again.
Demon, yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rod, are you still on the Canadian side of the border, or have you crossed the border for this one tonight?
No, I have a prior work commitment with Canada's other national sport in lacrosse tonight. So I started announcing at 7:00. So I just came out to the car to join you. But no, pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. So we got about, I say 4 minutes until 6:45. And then I told you that we'll get you for 15. And honestly, it's been so long since we've caught up. And then sure enough, we got the McGuire crossover, which was really fun. But yeah, you mentioned that storyline there. And I want to ask you this, because you're day by day in touch with the sports world from an overall perspective with the Niagara Sports Report. How much do narratives feed into players' minds? Do they just shut everything out when it comes to motivations and how to get an edge on the other team, Rod?
No, I think so, and I think the players rallied around the Rasmus Dahlin story. It was this time last year that the sidebar stories of Dahlin and Tage Thompson wanting out if the Buffalo doesn't turn the corner and get into the playoffs. So then what happened with his fiance, I think, brought the team closer this year. Will today's storyline, because there are players that were in Buffalo at the time, and obviously remember the story from 4 years ago today, it'll be interesting if that's brought up afterwards, if it is a Sabres win. Did you do this for the city and the tragedy and everything that happened 4 years ago? I think that does. And certain players, Dekes, you can appreciate this, is certain players know about those things, know about those stories, care about those stories, care about the community they live in, listen and follow the news, where there's other players, and not to their fault, they shut everything out, right? They do not want to know what's going on. But I think those narratives, I definitely can go a long way.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lineup, I think, Annik. Jimmy, I don't know if you have it ready, but we have a lineup actually, and it looks like, let's just take a look here. No changes for the Canadiens. Is that what you're reporting, Annik? I didn't have a chance to go through it all.
Yeah.
So, okay. So no surprises.
Anything for the Sabres?
Yeah, we're not sure about the Sabres just yet. I imagine they wouldn't be either because of the W.
You would think they not mix it up, but I mean, when you bring Shen in there and for all his veteran presence, the speed is caught up to Luke Shen. Montreal, if they wanted to, can expose, and you can say that for both teams. I mean, but it'll be interesting to see if Lindy Ruff sticks with the same lineup here tonight.
Yeah. Like history shows, obviously you would want to go with a winning lineup. At the same time, if you have an idea to tinker to make your team better, I mean, you have last line change. There's things to think about if you're the home team again, if you're Lindy Ruff.
And who would have known that they made 3 changes before game 4, right? The goalie change was, I don't think Alex Lyon was horrendous, was bad, but they did it. It worked. And, if it didn't work, he would have been questioned for it, right? So,
for sure.
What did you make of Consta Helenius in his playoff debut? I thought he was very good.
Yeah, and there's an example of someone that's speed and someone that wants it, and his future's bright. And we could talk about that. What was it? 17 minutes between the 2 challenges. That goal there. Oh my goodness. So yeah, driving to the net, and the game. These 2 teams say it more loudly than any other team that speed is the name of the game right now, right? And when you talk to, this is before the playoffs started. Oh, when you play, you heard other coaches say Montreal is a different team. Well, and then the next question will be asked, what do you mean they're a different team? Their speed, I've never seen anything like it. Buffalo now, finally, right? The Sabres are a different team. What's the first everybody talks about? Speed. That's the name of the game now. And that's why, Andrew, you mentioned this, that who knows what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference Final, right? Because these two teams are legitimate contenders.
It's crazy to think that because we're still like, we're just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe the pressure is on Buffalo a little bit more, but
I think it is. And the home ice is there. And I haven't. You tell me this: have you seen the Habs play tight at all in this series? I don't think so.
Not so much.
Yeah, Annik, what would? Yeah, I haven't really seen that.
Where you've seen it from the Sabres side, right? They played tight. They played
even against the Bruins. There was a couple moments there where it's like, whoa. Obviously, the Sabres were resilient, especially in that was a game 1 where they came back 3 goals. Like that was a crazy comeback. That was something else. Annik and I were texting, and I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah. The last 8 minutes of the game. The other aspect, we haven't got into the coaching, but I really like the body language, the demeanor, the attitude, the looseness of Martin St. Louis. Lindy's a little bit more serious, a little bit more old school, but I've been very impressed with Martin. And that goes hand in hand with why maybe the team's a little looser, meaning the Habs are a little looser because of their head coach.
Yeah, we did talk about it with Pierre Maguire, actually, and it's a factor. I think that his presence trickles down to the players, Rod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so.
Well, it's 6:45, so I will let you go, sir. And I appreciate you taking a few minutes for us, of course, and it was great to catch up with you and see you catch up with an older friend as well.
No, thank you for having me. And again, this is fun for both fan bases, and you guys do a great job. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. Enjoy tonight.
Thank you, Rod Mahood. Appreciate it. Niagara Sports Report. Well, this is sincerely delayed, but we want to thank our sponsors, Insta Customs and Cheapest T-Shirts. So, Jimmy, roll them for us.
Tired of waiting weeks for custom clothing? Insta Customs changes that. Order today, printed today, ready same day. Over 300 products, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and mugs. No minimums, bulk pricing available, and free shipping anywhere in Canada. The highest rated print shop in the country. Visit instacustoms.com. Stop overpaying. Buying t-shirts, hoodies, or blank apparel? Same brands, same products. Lower prices. No minimums. Buy 1 or 1,000, same price. Fast Canada shipping. Multiple warehouses. Stop overpaying. Visit cheapesttshirts.ca.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy, for that. In a minute, we'll get a Sabres lineup. But before we do, Jimmy, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but let's get the Habs-ativity meter rocking and see where our fans in the comments are at in terms of the Habs going into this game. Fire it up, Jimbo. All right, so 5 is you're feeling pretty positive. 1 is you are not. So, Annik, I'm going to start with you, my co-host friend, and ask you, where are you at, or are you not sure? You want to think on it? What do you want to do here?
I'm at 4.6.
That's pretty high, actually.
4.6. Yeah. No,
you feel good.
I have a good vibe. Like, I don't think we played a horrible game last game. I think we had a good one. We're clearly capable of winning 2 in a row. Yeah, I think if we just keep doing what we're doing, I think the reffing is going to be a little bit tighter given all the whistles we got last game. So that might be a difference maker. Here is going to be the special units. But yeah, I have a good vibe.
It's the road. It's being the road team. It's kind of the relaxed. There's more pressure at home. Isn't it obvious? Like there really is.
Sure.
So I appreciate that. So everyone, yeah, please chime in as you are. Let us know where you're at on the Habs activity meter. In terms of the Canadiens winning, Sabres fans, we know you're here as well. So we're going to get to your lineup actually in just a moment. And then also, guys, don't forget, we really started something special, I think, here, and that is by you telling us where you're watching from. So that has been a really cool feature of this show. So get that ready for us. But I would say, yeah, let's keep the Habs activity meter going. But just to prepare you for near the end of the show, we'd love to see the ticker going here and find out where you're watching from. So in terms of Habs activity meter for me, I'm going to go with a solid 4.1. I'm going to go 4.1. I
4.1.
expect the Buffalo Sabres to play well tonight.
Yeah.
In front of their fans. I think Game 7 is a crapshoot. Anything can happen, but we're not there yet. So I think that the Sabres, they played really well against the Canadiens in Game 1. It was a bit of a toss-away game for Montreal, and then Montreal stormed back 2 games in a row. So I'm really curious if Montreal gets off to a hot start, which we hope they get the first goal, of course. But if the Sabres get the first goal, and then maybe, if it gets worse from there, I'm curious how Montreal responds, because Buffalo hasn't dominated really since Game 1.
Yeah. And I think as long as we don't go like a 2-0 deficit, I think we're fine. We've seen them come back all year long, and I'm not too worried about starting down 1-0. But yeah, I just love to get that first one out of the way and keep building on it. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, Game 5 Montreal, obviously, Game 4s are not our friend right now, but it does seem like they're going to be loose tonight on the road. But they're also, the last time they were there, they obviously dominated. So this game could be extremely tight. It could be the first overtime game of the series, if there is one in the series. But I just don't. I am so bad at predictions now in my own mind, I think, even though we will kind of do them here. But it's hard to predict this series. It's different.
Yeah,
it's really
I haven't
different.
been spot on any sort of predictions. So, yeah, a little bit rattled.
I know. It's Shane Gaumont and Brandon are just the only ones that seem to be nailing it. So that being said, let's get the Buffalo Sabres lineup here real quick, and let's see if there's any changes, which so far to me, I don't see. Luke Schenn is still on the third pair. So Luukkonen, of course, starting. Yeah. So no changes for the Buffalo Sabres either. And I got to say, they looked like a different team. Annik, the Sabres did not look like the same team from Game 3. That Helenius insert into the lineup, and Luukkonen coming in and playing well and looking big. I thought he looked pretty good. I also thought they played well in front of him. And Buffalo's breakouts were excellent in the first period. Like, they were shooting the puck up the ice. And that Samuelson first goal, they earned it. They just
100%. Yeah, no, they came out swinging, and they couldn't afford to lose that game, and they knew it. So at the end of the day, they were just a little bit hungrier than we were. So I got to hand it to them.
Yeah.
It sucked. I was very mad, but also, we played a great game. So it's hard to be pissed when we played a great game, but I'm also pissed because we lost the game, because we could have had a hell of an advantage coming into this one, and that's what stung the most here.
Especially given
board. I swear to God, if I go to the Bell Center and see that board, I'm bringing a hammer.
You know what? Tage Thompson, I got to say, some interesting
things.
Out of all
people, too, he gets it.
But this guy did a pirouette in Game 2, and Alex Carrier goes bar down. In Game 3, he gets a great bounce, empty netter. Game 4, he throws it at a board, it goes in. Somebody watch Tage Thompson tonight, please, because I don't know what it is about these Thompson.
Tage, keep your freaking sticks on the ice, to quote Shane, because I feel like he says it every single game. So this one's for you, Shaner. And don't dive, because apparently we dive. So don't dive.
Yeah. Well, we learned it from the first series from the other team in blue. So anyways, but that's another sidebar. They lost, so that's over with. Yeah. But oh my goodness. So that being said, folks, be sure to right now, if you could, and also actually before we get into the location of where everyone's watching from, be sure to bump the like button. I know I don't mean to go too far in front of the camera here, but hit the thumbs up for us, guys. It really does help, and it actually we appreciate it. I know it just takes a second, but if you're on your phone watching, hit the like button with your thumb. And if you're watching on laptop or TV, you can actually use your remote to hit the like button, believe it or not, right while you're watching. And it does help. It does actually help us, guys. So we appreciate it. Subscribe, of course. And then now is the time also, as Annik and I get into maybe a couple predictions here. Now's the time to let us know in the comments where in the world you are watching from, because this has been a really cool experiment for us to hear back from you guys. I've really enjoyed it. And Claire watches every pregame show right at home in Montreal. So fantastic. Ian Patterson of the OG Habs viewers from many, many years ago was a regular guest at one point. So yes, thank you for filling that in, guys. As you do, we're going to let it keep rolling in here as Annik and I get into predictions as you guys always want. And we might even have a couple of questions. If you have questions too, we'll maybe get to 1 or 2 questions. And Nick, how's that? Maybe 1 to 3 questions. And if you guys have any questions, by all means, fire those up as you're firing up your locations. We're going to get you guys to multitask because we believe in you. We believe in you, Sabres and Canadiens fans. So thank you very much for that. As far as predictions go tonight, I mean, I think we've all, we're just going to keep saying it till it happens. Like Ivan Demidov's got to get on the board, man. I just want to see him. I don't care if it's an assist.
He's going to unleash tonight. Book it.
Book it. Book it.
I've been saying it every game, but tonight is happening.
Jake Evans, I keep calling for a Jake Evans goal.
I know.
And my gosh, when is it going to happen? I think
the
he's come close.
4 games in Tampa, I was like, Evans, nothing. So watch, I'm not going to say it. You are, and he's going to score tonight. So no, Demidov.
Yeah, we'll share the credit. It's okay. We passed the puck. We passed the puck.
We'll do that.
But I'm going to go with also. I think Cole Caulfield gets on the sheet, and I said this the other night. He actually ended up scoring, I think, but I was just saying. Let's let him get, the assist here. But as far as like a score prediction tonight, like I'm feeling another 3-2 again, and I feel like it's going overtime. I could be wrong, but I think we're due. I think we're just due for an overtime game.
Due for overtime?
We're due. I don't know. Like this series is getting closer by the game now. I feel like now that all the shenanigans are out of the way. I mean, Struble and Jackeye took the ice for the warm-up here, but apparently the lineup, actually, if you could bring it up again, Jimmy, I'm pretty sure, again, Arbor Jackie's in it and Jaden Struble is not. Yeah, but no changes for Montreal either. So I'm just curious if they're going to use Arbor more on the road a little bit. Caden Gooley's been great. Dobson's been really good. Matheson, Carrier, Hudson. What do you want to see from any particular player? Texier, we haven't really talked about him much, but he's been good. He's been serviceable for sure. But what are your thoughts?
I would love to see a killer game from Josh Anderson tonight. I think Pierre said it best. Like he just emptied his tank towards Tampa, and that's exactly what I was expecting of him. And mind you, he's allowed to pump the brakes a little bit here. But I think if we can get Josh going again, that's going to be a difference maker. I just want to see Power Horse tonight. So I think we need that. But
they could use it.
100%. And then for my score, I wrote it down because that's what I do. And I went a little bit bold today.
Ooh. Whoa. That's a lot of goals. So they're going to go back to Lion.
We've done it for 2 games. So.
Oh man, I'm getting more nervous as this series goes along. And I shouldn't. I'm just happy to be here.
I know. Shout out to my uncle if he's watching, but that's what we were saying after Tampa. We're like, let's just get it out of the way and then we're not nervous. But then the game starts and our hearts start pumping and we don't want to survive anymore. So, but I don't know.
It's such an interesting series, but I mean, I love Marty. I'm just I think we're all just like growing to appreciate a guy who lives in the moment, like Marty St. Louis.
Players coach.
Yeah. Like, win or lose, this guy is going to be smiling, and so unless like the Canadiens just really tick him off. But
like, when's the last time you saw a coach win a coach's challenge and then celebrate on the bench by pumping his fist with his players?
I didn't see that actually. I didn't see the fist bump
right after. Just went, yeah. So when's the last time you saw that? It's hard. Like I was taking a look at, because I basically watch every playoff game. I'm taking a look at the coaches. Team scores, they nod, K, whatever. Marty's celebrating on the bench. Any sort of play, like Marty's so involved with his players when it comes to watching that darn iPad or just talking it through. So he's a player's coach. It's beneficial for us. I'll take it any day of the week.
Absolutely. With that in mind too, someone just mentioned Kirby Dach. Actually, Tim had just mentioned Kirby Dach, and he's been a factor in these playoffs, like much to our, maybe surprise, I would say, if we're honest. I mean, since the incident on social media, like my gosh, it just like brought him to life, Annik.
Yeah. And I said at the first game versus Tampa too that I wasn't expecting anything from Kirby because it's been a tough season. I know he's been battling injuries, but it's been a tough season. But he's turned it around and he's been he's been making an impact. So hopefully we get to see a little bit of that today. Was it game one, that self-assisted goal while diving, or game two? I can't remember which one it was.
Game one. Yeah, it was game
he's
one.
capable of doing anything he sets his mind to. So seeing Kirby Dach get on the sheet tonight, that would be pretty cool.
The guy has such a long reach too. Like, that's what I love, is that he can be effective using his size and reach. He can play physical. He can throw the body. He can shoot. He can pass. He can score. And I think that he's gotten his wind underneath him too. Like, I mean, you got to think this is playoffs. So Marty's not putting him in unless he feels like he can trust him. And no Kapanen. I mean, I know Pierre suggested it, but Marty's sticking with what's mostly been working so far in the playoffs.
Don't break what's not broken. However, I would still advocate for this one.
Yeah,
I'd still love to see that second round at the Bell Center. Just saying, because but what do I know? I'm just an armchair fan.
Well, you know what? You do know something, because you were right in the first series about him. And did that ever come to life? Don't forget, you had a prediction that was
only prediction that came true. And actually, no, you know what? I'm going to say it on Saturday. If we win, the story about this shirt here. I don't want to jinx it because I'm super superstitious, but
okay.
Good feeling for tonight.
I like it. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We are going to officially sign off. Shane Gabon is with Tony Marinaro at the live watch party at Winnies. So check that out, folks. At Cafe Milano. And I am fired. Thank you very much for having me on this show. It was a great time.
This is your last show. We won't see you Sunday.
Good gosh. Somebody help him. Somebody help this orange-haired freak in Niagara Falls. Okay, so yes, that is Cafe Milano. Thank you very much for us. I love being live because you just can't run away. You can't run away. There's no running away, guys. So
on that note, follow, subscribe, press like, and tune in on Saturday if you want to see if Drew's still employed, is what I'll leave us with.
Oh my gosh. Well, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the unemployment line, wherever you got to go. That's me. So thank you all guys for watching Game 5. Pierre Maguire, Rod Mahood, we thank you. Thank you all for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Enjoy the game in Buffalo. Have fun. Be respectful. Be safe. And we'll see you for the post game. Tony Marinaro and Pierre Maguire and company later on tonight. Thanks, everybody.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow Habs Tonight, powered by Sick Media, on YouTube, X, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.